Holy guacamole, guys, we finally got some movement back in the market and it feels glorious. Now, if you didn't see my video yesterday, you might have missed the best ticker of the day today, which was RGBP. This thing was up, I forget how much today, but the max point, it was up at 8 cents. 3 days ago, it was at 0.002. So that's 4,000% in 3 days. And there is so much volatility in this stock that no matter what you're doing with it, there is an opportunity to profit. So you guys need to be watching this stock. I'm gonna be talking about how I traded it today. Today I banked over $2,800 day trading this stock and a few other ones. So I'm gonna talk about those trades that I made today, and then I'm gonna talk about the stocks that I'm watching tomorrow that you need to be watching to make sure you do not miss out on these opportunities. Also, the stock that was super oversold yesterday, GTVH, that I talked about in my video, I mean, that had an insane bounce, so hopefully some of you guys banked on that one as well. If you had some great trades, definitely drop them down below. Let me know that you made some money. Really is awesome to hear. I love helping you guys make money, and that's ultimately the goal of this channel. So let's dive into my laptop so you guys can see the charts that I'm looking at, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure to like this video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the post notifications so you can get these videos as soon as they come out. All right, guys, so this is the chart for GTVH, and I made the video about it around here, and I thought it was a decent dip buy, you know, because it got really oversold because that one person dumped all their shares, and again, this thing bounced beautifully, gapped up very big, and then went on a run from 38 cents straight up to almost 58 cents, little pullback, and then made it above 60 cents for a little while, and came back and finished around 49 cents. And you can see the spread is typically pretty big on this one because it's typically pretty thinly traded. So that is very normal for the stock, and for an OTC stock that has such a low float, this is very normal. Unfortunately, I made $0 on this, but a lot of people in the Discord banked on this, so I hope some of you guys did. And it's just because I cannot go long right now because Schwab is tripping out and gives me 0 settled cash to trade. I don't know why that is. I really don't, but it is the world that I live in, so until I get everything switched over to E-Trade, I am not going to be able to pretty much go long on any OTC stocks, which stinks because that's my bread and butter. So instead, I've been going short, and here's the stock RGBP that I actually was shorting today. And you might be thinking, David, why are you shorting a stock that is up 100-something% on the day and has come from Let me give you guys 5 days just so you can see. This stock was at 0.002. And today's the third day in a row. Again, I talked about it here. It had a huge gap up and then just went on to run and squeeze pretty much all day long. Went pretty insane. Had a funny breakout here where it broke out over this level. It broke out into a new high a day, but then quickly rejected and broke the uptrend. But today, there were a lot of opportunities on this stock from both the long side and the short side. And that's what's great about having volatility back in the market, because a stock like this means that there is an opportunity to make profit. If you get a stock that literally just goes in a straight line and there's no spread, you can't really make much money on it. But if a stock is going up and it's going down and it's going up and it's going down, there's a lot of room to make money regardless of whether you're buying it first and then selling it, or you're selling it first and then buying it, which is what is so awesome about this. So I personally think this stock is probably going to see a pretty big panic tomorrow, if I had to guess, because it is now the third day in a row that it has, you know, a huge green day. Again, it's insane the run it went on, guys. It's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, if I zoom in a little bit more here, this was already up a ton. This already finished up, you know, I don't even know how much percent on the day, guys. 800%, 700%, and then another almost, what, 80% day or something like that, and then another 100+% day. I mean, it's just, it's ludicrous. It's pretty nuts how much this is up. Now, it did actually finish right over VWAP. VWAP was like, I think towards the end of the day, it was like literally right here. So right where this bounced. So potentially that could be a good sign. I think 3 huge green days in a row, this thing is pretty overextended, even after pulling back from 8 cents. So I personally would expect this thing to be going down tomorrow, but I have no idea. Again, I'm not in this for the long run, and if you are, you know, maybe it's a great investment, but it is up a lot. So I personally would not be holding a swing trade from this area. I think it can pull back a lot. I think it can pull back a lot. I think we break under here and, you know, see a pretty big panic tomorrow. And I'm going to be looking to bank on that from the short side. That's what I'm going to be looking to do. Now, the stupid rule, the shorting rule, the 250 rule means I can only short like 10, 20,000 shares of this stock. You know, if I were going long and I could go long, I could buy 500,000 shares of this stock. But since I'm not, I can't really get that many shares. So my profit is obviously limited. But if you, if I actually zoom in here, you guys can see a little bit more. There's so many opportunities to make money on a stock that has clean action like this. And you get a couple green candles in a row, you know, you take a stab at a short position if it starts stalling out. And then it tanks down, you cover it, and you take your profits over and over. So I was making money on this stock even as it was going up. Even as it was going up. And I did take some paper cuts, you know, trying to short maybe here, and then I covered here. But I pretty much always nailed the exact top and then was able to ride it back down, cover, reshort, cover, reshort, exactly as you would expect from someone who knew almost what the stock was going to do beforehand. And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. And I feel like these are very easy to read on the bounces. And this is exactly what I did from the long side on MDMP. So MDMP looked a lot like this, where it would go down, it would bounce, it would go down, it would bounce, go down, bounce, you know, fake out, bounce some more, and then finally have a bigger bounce. And I was making money all the way down on the back side of that one too. Now, it's easier from the short side, obviously, but there are so many opportunities when you get a stock that is moving this much percentage overall. So regardless of what it does tomorrow, guys, if it gets too overextended in either direction, you know, you get 5 green candles in a row, that's probably a good short. If you get 5 red candles in a row and it starts stalling out and it looks like it's going to bounce, that's probably a good long. So there's so many opportunities, and I'm just excited for what this is going to bring. I do not care what it does. If it breaks out over this, over the high tomorrow, that would be awesome. But, you know, if it tanks down to 3 and bounces to 5 and drops to 2.5, I'm going to be making money on it either way, guys. I really don't care. The important thing to focus on as day traders is volatility. So this is the #1 stock that I'm watching. Again, RGBP was also moving. This one did not move nearly as much, but, you know, this was another one that I put on your guys' radar the other day. So keep that in mind. HMBL, this thing is still bleeding off. It may have found a bottom here, but I'll have to see it to believe it. I'll have to see it to believe it. I mean, it's still selling off every single morning. I think it sold off there. Yeah, it's sold off there every single morning, bro, for the last, like, 2.5 weeks, I swear. It's been selling off in the morning. So if you were short from where it opened and covered 2 minutes later, I think you would have made money every single day. Pretty wild. So I expect this thing to bounce pretty heftily in the near future. Supposedly they just announced an investor call for tomorrow. Don't quote me on that. Do your research. I don't want to take the time to do it in the middle of a video right now, but that's what I heard in the Discord. So potentially it's gonna talk about something, and maybe they're going to announce something, announce the release of the app, or announce something that's going to make this thing bounce, because it did break below this level, but it's definitely a much better swing from $2.80 than it is from $4.20. So if you guys want to swing this, you know, it's getting right in that area where it really makes sense to take a position. Again, you could easily risk off of the low here at 249. So if you get in at 280, risking 249, your upside is, I mean, maybe it breaks out past this point and gets great news and goes to $5. Who knows? Maybe it makes a new high. Who knows? I'm not here to say this stock is not going to break out. But I think from a technical perspective, you look at the amount of red days that this has in a row. Now, technically, these red days went higher, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red days in a row. So it's pretty likely at this point that we get a green day at some point very soon, and I would say it's likely that it's tomorrow. I would think it's going to be tomorrow if we got the call tomorrow. Now, I could be totally wrong. I could be off on that, but I think this could be a very decent swing trade tomorrow. You know, even if it gets back up here, breaks above 3 or something like that. So I think this could be a decent swing trade. So keep that in mind, guys, if you're looking for ideas. I probably won't be able to swing because, again, I can't go long on OTCs right now. But I would love to if I could. I would love to if I could, even though I wouldn't take huge position because I don't like holding stocks. You know, that I think could potentially break under these areas, but maybe I would take 5,000 shares or something like that. No huge size, but, you know, just to get a little something in there. FBio, this is one that I was really looking for a short today, but unfortunately, after hours, it looked like it kind of was breaking down. So this thing was pretty lame. I shorted a tiny bit. when it went red on the day, but it was pretty choppy. I made a tiny bit of money, but then it came all the way back, and I didn't really trade the rest of the day. And then you see this massive, massive panic in after hours, and then a huge bounce. So, I don't know. I kind of hope this thing opens around this area, or maybe I just sort it from the beginning and risk off of red-green area. I'm not sure. This is probably going to be a decent short, though, because, again, if you look at this chart, I mean, it's getting up there, man. It's getting up there. So definitely a lot of room to the downside. You know, at least $1, maybe more to the downside. Where did it bounce off of in after hours? Did it bounce off of 4? Bounce off of 405 in after hours. That's pretty wild. So, I mean, if it does that tomorrow, man, I'm going to make a lot of money shorting this thing right here and covering down there. So let that happen, please. Let it happen. I will be banking if it does. Anything else I should call out for you guys? LCLP. This is another one that was running hard today. This closed right at the highs, so this looks like it's day one of the move. I think this one could definitely continue farther, especially if, you know, RGBP is changing the market. And again, I've talked about this in the past, but when we have one big runner that goes supernova and runs for multiple days, typically it makes the entire market hotter, whether it's a NASDAQ market or an OTC market. And the fact that we had RGBP run for 3 days straight means that I feel like this could potentially continue to run, given that it closed right near the high of day. So I would definitely be looking to potentially long this if you can, depending on what it does tomorrow. And I guess right now it's still too cheap to be a good short. So yeah, I mean, potential long tomorrow. This thing could potentially have a multi-day run, so I would love to see that. Anything else? ENZC, just kind of fading off. OZSC also down a lot. Apparently there was some bad news about them. It hasn't broken 8 cents yet, but maybe it does it tomorrow. It's the lowest it's been in a pretty long time. I think this is where it bounced before. So if it breaks under 8 cents, guys, that is not going to be looking good for the bag holders. Not going to be looking good. I mean, if it holds over 8 cents, I would say it's a good swing, risking 8 cents, especially from like, you know, 8.05 cents or something like that. But I feel like there's a decent chance that this thing breaks down under 8 cents. So unless they release some crazy good news tomorrow, it may be game over for OZSC. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. I just hope none of you guys are bag holding. Rohan, I know you're bag holding. Let's see, AITX. What's it doing? This thing is pretty ugly too. Had a green day the other day, but really nothing too crazy, guys. So I'm not seeing anything I love there. I guess 2 other stocks that I want to talk about real quick. HTZ GQ. I shorted this stock right when it went red on the day, pretty much right here, and made some great money doing so. It had a great sell-off. I was short 10,000 shares up here and then maybe 5,000 down here, and that was what put me green on the day. I had pretty much no good trades up until right here. So I mean, I was like an hour into the day without really any good trades. So this was the one that put me green on the day officially. And the reason that I shorted this, just so you guys can, you know, hear my perspective a little bit, is the fact that if I go here, you can see the Q. If you guys don't know, this is in a 5-letter ticker. This means that it's a bankrupt company, and you know, it's Hertz Chapter 11, so it's bankrupt, and it's up from 40 cents all the way to a high of 199. Came back, bounced, and now it's the first red day after 4 green days. So typically speaking, this is a pretty high odds scenario if you short it when it goes red. You know, same thing here, a bunch of green days, first red day, and absolutely massive sell-off here. So I'm just grateful I was able to take advantage of this. And this is just the type of setup that you want to look for, guys. Overextended charts, once they go red, risking red-green is typically a pretty good trade. It's typically a pretty good trade if you can short. Just teaching you guys how to be a little bit more short-biased in this market. The last one that I want to talk about is probably the craziest chart I have seen in a long time. And I know I said that a lot. I said that about GTVH the other day. But TIRX, this thing is absolutely nuts, guys. Look at this stock. Look at this stock, guys. Now, it looks like it bounced a little bit in after hours, but TIRX just unloaded close to 2 million shares to victims at the entire morning at $95 through a WeChat pump operation using girls to message people. Insanity. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Absolutely ridiculous. How do they do it? Guess. Banker IPOs 3 million shares, but don't sell all to the public. Keep 2.9 million, wash trade 100,000 to $100 and paint an ascending wedge on the daily chart. So if you look at that, I mean, it's a pretty interesting chart. I guess they got it all the way up here. Keep 2.9 million, yeah, I said that already. Scam others to buy 2.9 million shares at $95 a share through spam messages through WeChat. That's what WeChat is. It's like a Chinese version of WhatsApp. Fill short for extra greed, profit. And I mean, this stock was so nuts. I wish I had known about it sooner to short this thing because, oh my goodness, this thing tried to bounce and could not. It could not bounce. It tried so many times and could not bounce. If I had found it here, I would have made a lot of money shorting it, man. A lot of money shorting it. If I'd found it here, oh my God. But I guess, you know, when a stock is like this, you don't really realize how much downside it has. But that's crazy. I feel sorry for anyone who was long from 97 and who didn't cut it, because a stock dropping 80, I guess it finished 80% down on the day. But I mean, at the highest, it was, I mean, at the lowest, it was like 88% negative on the day. Absolutely insane chart. Absolutely insane chart. This is why you don't bag hold. We had someone buy it at around 27, ended up cutting it, you know, 21, 22, I think, and was hoping it wasn't the bottom. And then it, you know, went all the way down to 12. So just because a stock is down from 97 to 25 does not mean that it has to bounce. Does not mean that it has to bounce. I mean, this thing literally could not bounce, guys. Literally could not bounce. And this is the type of stock that you want to be short biased on, you know, until it gets down here. Now, I didn't feel comfortable because I saw it around here, maybe around this area, and I didn't want to short a stock that was already down from 97 to 27. I really didn't feel like it, but I mean, I could have made over 50% there. That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. So you got to be so careful. This is a great example of why you do not turn into a bag holder and why you don't go in with a huge size on sketchy stocks. That's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you found this helpful. Again, I would say my biggest watches for tomorrow are RGBP. That's probably my biggest watch, personally, for me. Maybe Humbl, seeing if it does something. FBio, potentially. And that's pretty much it. Pretty much it. I guess IMVU had some type of movement here. Some type of movement a little bit. I tried to get short here. I only got filled, because you see this wall, it could not break through. I tried to get filled 10,000 shares short from 56-ish. I only got filled 1,000 shares. Ended up covering them right here. And that's pretty much it. But again, you know, you see resistance levels like this. It's pretty clear, you know, it can't break over that. So if you can get short here, it's a pretty good odds setup, risking the break of that. So yeah, guys, I mean, market's getting a little bit more exciting. Hopefully we have some more interesting stocks tomorrow. I'll be calling them all in the Discord as always, and hope you guys are killing it. That's pretty much it. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, let's grow better together. Preguntar, bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.